Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Advanced Selling Podcast, the longest running sales training podcast history. I'm Bill Caskey.
I'm Bryan Neal.
you better pause. Okay, this sign, this pointing to you will be your cue to go. We had a little dust up between friends and work. We are appreciative always of you as being listeners, and we've been at this for many years, many episodes, and we always get new listeners. Best thing to do if you're a new listener, if you don't want to start at the very beginning, when we were total amateurs, you can go to advancedsellingpodcast.com. There's a list of the top 20 episodes there. It'll be pretty clear, and we'd love to have you. And we also meet on a monthly basis in a program called Insider. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But if you want a little bit extra, little bit extra nudge, we can do that too.
Love it. Flying, I flew yesterday, had a first. I always, you see these flight problems, like you say, a flight had to revert because of an unruly passenger, all those things. And it's so weird. I was thinking about that. I'm like, I've never had that. Like, odds are low, but I've never had the drama on my plane. Yeah. I saw a big fight on a Southwest Airlines flight where people were physically fighting last week. But I thought I was going to have one, and it wasn't what people thought. And I didn't really know what to do. And I was sitting in seat 1B, some of the very first in the aisle seat. Yeah. And this woman, she was older and, again, educated guessing, maybe not a daily, weekly flyer, gets up to go to the restroom and starts trying to get into the cockpit thinking it's the bathroom. And she's like tugging on the thing, and the flight attendant was over in the galley, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And she literally thought that the cockpit was the bathroom. And I'm like, if she gets in there, we're all screwed, because now she's going to get arrested. All she's got to do is pee.
We're landing somewhere.
We're going to, Little Rock, Arkansas instead of Atlanta. Uh-huh. And right when I was about to get up to help her, and it was just like, man, I think you're trying to go to the bathroom. It's actually here to the left. The flight attendant saw her.
Then you would have been arrested. You would have been arrested.
She was like, I can't get in the bathroom. She's like, that's not the bathroom. This is the bathroom over here. God bless her. And she was really sweet. She but I thought, oh man, I didn't know what to do. But I was about ready to, and then I thought, if I got up and tackled her, would that make the news? Like Bryan Neal tackles his 67-year-old grandma, you know what I mean? From breaching the cockpit on Delta flight to Atlanta.
He saved the whole
I
plane.
Saved him.
Bryan
she was
Neal,
taking us down.
He's an official in the football. Yeah, but he really did his duty. You'll be a hero.
She was taking us down. I'm like, I got her. I've got Meemaw. I tackled her.
You needed to reach behind you and say, hey, get your phone out. Film this. Here we go.
Let's get this on TikTok. Watch this. Freeze. Anyway, so that happened just last night, by the way.
That's funny. Okay. I had I'm not going to go into detail. We'll do it next time. But I had an awesome experience on United. We went out to Moab, Utah, and nice. We had some issues on getting to a gate in Denver. We had to wait like 50 minutes, and that puts in jeopardy our connecting flight.
Yes.
And I went to Twitter or X and found United. I said, hey, we are waiting at the terminal, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I'm never going to hear from them. It wasn't 3 minutes later. Yeah. I got an email or a Twitter direct message back that said, yes, thank you, Bill. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. We are well aware that there's a problem. Trust us. We will hold the plane for you. And they did. Now,
unbelievable.
They might have held it for everybody anyway. I don't know. But, and I had another situation on the way back where they were just, it was, and then
it's unreal.
At the last DM, I said, thanks. Oh no, I actually tweeted out then, man, United is on their X game. They're really good.
Yes.
But it probably was AI, but either way, that's okay.
Doesn't matter.
And then direct messaged that because they saw that and said, nope, real person, not AI.
That is so good. Isn't that great? And you know what? If they hadn't, they still could have apologized. That we did our best. We tried. That's all you wanted, right? Just try and tell me you're trying. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't expect.
I don't know if they all do that. I don't know if they all do that, but United's game is really good. So
yes, really, really good.
Topic. You go ahead.
So we are continuing in part 2 of our 2-part series. We are going into our specific use of AI. We did a little kind of lay of the land episode last time, and today we're going to talk specifically about what Bill and I use it for and actually show some examples or talk through some examples, I think. First things first, we use different tools. I use ChatGPT. Why do I use ChatGPT? Because it's what I started using, and I haven't looked at any of the others. That's the only reason. And I do pay for the premium. People ask that. I think it's $19.95 a month or $20 a month.
You definitely
for ChatGPT for the premium. So, and you, Bill, use?
I use Claude, Claude.ai actually, and it's Claude, but I asked Claude how to pronounce it one time when I heard I was mispronouncing it, and Claude actually says it's Claude. So, I go with that because you should know how to pronounce your own name. So,
yes, you think.
But there's lots of them, and I don't want to. This is not this versus something. They're all really good. Perplexity, Gemini. I mean, they're all. Grok is really good. So don't get too hung up onto the platform. I like the idea of going with one and learning it and populating it and keeping with it instead of changing all the time.
And that's why we brought that up. You need to pick one and stick with it is the recommendation there. So, so let's talk. I'll use a sample, and I mentioned this in the last episode. My number one use in my work life is for sales prep. And I'll find one here. Scrolling through all of my conversations. Maybe am I almost? And then we'll just talk to you about, okay, what do we ask it and what do we not ask it? So here I said, I'm going to not use names, but I said, we have a sales call with blank. He's the president with his company, and they're a referral from another client named CEO and his company. Give me some good prep info, size, ownership, revenue trends, his likely 3 to 5 concerns. That's just where I started. I just want to get into it. I got overview and size, founded in 2014, ownership into a PE firm, employee count, scale of operations, revenue trend insights, operational likely concerns on the mind, integration and consolidation risks, sustainable growth and ROI, supply chain reliability, tech. Here we go. We just keep going. Strategic talking points, integration support. And it knows now. You should know we're selling our operating system, Blind Zebra Sales Operating System. This is the benefit to using. Bill talked about context last time. When you train it over and over, it knows who you are and what you're talking about. So it automatically fits in how Blind Zebra Sales Operating System will address these things for me, which is really, really awesome. But you have to keep telling it, so it can learn.
Okay, so when you say you have to keep telling it, you mean if it misses something, you have to go in and say, no, you got that wrong. Here's a better way to look at it. Then the next time you ask it to do that, it will learn from your input. Yeah.
Yes. That's been my experience. Yeah. Or if it goes down a path of saying, oh, if it thinks because it knows I do keynote speaking. Oh, they'd be a great speech for, I'm like, no, this is for Blind Zebra Sales Operating System. This is not for speaking. Goes, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just talk to it. So that's just an example.
Yeah. But that's a throwaway thing there, what we just talked about. But that's critical if you're going to have it act as a VA or an executive assistant, that it continues to learn. Because it's like if you gave an intern a project and the intern came back and they botched it up, you would say, no. I don't want it on 3-point Helvetica type. I want it on 12-point. And then from that point on, they'll know what kind of font to use. And it's the same thing here. You just got to keep training it.
For sure.
Okay. What else?
So there's one example. So now there's another one. Okay. So this is another client that we had for prep, same sort of deal. And it comes back and says this company is an ESOP. That stands for Employee Stock Ownership Plan, but it's an ownership where the employees own the company. So, and it says, went to ESOP status, blah, blah, blah. So we're talking to the CEO and CFO. This is where it's not always right. And we go, well, so Steph and I said, hey, we have a little niche in ESOPs. We work with a lot of ESOPs. And the CEO said, we're not an ESOP anymore. Well, and I'm like, whoopsie daisy. Yeah. So I learned in that moment, you have to use this as a lead, but you have to validate all the stuff you're giving.
Yeah.
And we handled it fine, but I said, oh, I didn't know that. And I said, I used ChatGPT and said, you're an ESOP. I said, no, we took the company back private. And then he was talking to his CEO or VP of sales or was. And he's like, when was that? He's like, I think it was 2019. So it was 6 years ago that they unwound their ESOP or took it back to private. I didn't feel like we looked stupid because I told them what had happened, but it was a learning for me to say, I did research. I use AI to do research. AI is really great, but it's never perfect. So AI told me you guys were an ESOP. Is that still the case? Yep, sure is. Okay, good. How many? Then I'm into it. So that's an example that I learned kind of the hard way, but not terrible. But that's what happens.
No.
You didn't know. And it was old data, 6 years ago. Did it stop being an ESOP?
Yeah.
As a sample.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I love the research, the call prep.
Yes.
You just walk in. I told a client the other day, I said, you walk in 1/2 inch straighter because you feel like, okay, I know enough about this company. Not all of it may be true, but that's why I'm here to understand. But you feel like you've got a little bit of an edge, and you walk with your chest out a little bit more confidently.
Yes.
Okay, so as we close up here, here's how I have been using AI a lot for content. And we did a program in the Insider, which is our monthly training program that we did last Friday. And we got another one coming up here in November. And in November, we're going to be talking about how do you become confident to talk about money and economics. And I find that's a big issue. So we're going to be diving into that. So if you're interested in Insider and that topic, go to advancedsellingpodcast.com/insider. But last month, we did one on how to create the introductory video. And the introductory video is that video that you should send to someone cold prior to the first meeting. So if I have a meeting next Thursday with a potential customer, came from the web, came from the podcast, whatever, I will send them a video where I introduce myself and I kind of take care of some business before I get there. And so what we did in Insider is I wrote an AI prompt for them. I need to create a script for a 2 to 3 minute introductory video that my prospect will watch before our meeting. This video should position me as an expert in the industry and create anticipation for our conversation. Please create a video script with these 5 sections using the worksheet. And so what I had people do is they filled out a worksheet that had like 12 questions on it that had a little bit about what are the most common problems that customers have in your niche. What are some of the mistakes they make when they try to fix those things? What are some of your unique value points, propositions that you bring to the table? And then I ask it to create a 2 to 3 minute video. And what came back was incredible. I mean, it created the exact video. And so you might say, well, that you could have done that on your own. Yeah, I could have, but as a service to my Insider clients, I wanted to write something that they could use. But if I want to create another video, now I've got the script. Now I've got it. Now I've got the script for it. I don't have to go back and redo this. I can say, okay, well, this video we want to do a little bit differently. So I'll just replace this line with this line. But Claude has what's called projects. ChatGPT has GPTs, and it's custom ways that if you do something over and over, like let's say you have a meeting with a client on Zoom and you transcribe it, you record it, transcribe it, you put it into your AI and say, hey, make me some notes on what we talked about, maybe some deep insights into their problems and recommended next steps or recommended next questions. It's a great way to do, you talk about sales prep. It's also a way to do follow-up. So now when I'm following up with somebody, it's very thorough and very rigorous.
It's really great. And the video thing is interesting because we know you and listeners to the Advanced Selling Podcast have heard Bill and I talk about starting your own podcast and starting doing videos and all this stuff for decades now, Bill, because it's plural. No, it's still not. Oh, yeah, no, it's not quite decades. It's decade plus 9. Next October will be decades. And if you don't know how to do something, just say, hey, ChatGPT, I don't know the first place to start with doing a sales video that Bill and Bryan from the Advanced Selling Podcast talk about. Help me. And just get going. Just get used to it. You don't have to show it to anybody. So I think that's great.
It could even be that it will go out and reference something that we did. I don't know if it would go that far, but if you say Advanced Selling Podcast, Bill and Bryan, it may go find Bill and Bryan's episode on video. I don't know because I don't know that it translates audio yet. But
I bet it would find something.
It would find something.
Because we've been doing this a long time and we don't know what our stuff's been transcribed or someone else is transcribing it, putting up, or it might not find anything, but I would try. And then I loved what you said then, the last statement you just made about the follow-up help. So if I do this video and boom, then I get a meeting, then I have a conversation. Now we at our firm, we use Gong, which is our AI based revenue intelligence that records all of our calls, summarizes them. We can cut and paste our entire conversation from Gong into ChatGPT. Now, Gong tells us a lot of stuff just to either validate what Gong's telling us is the best, or ChatGPT will find other things, say, hey, here's an angle, or here's something I heard in the dialogue that you may want to bring up next time or something like that, or don't miss this. You can use those tools together, but I think don't just stop after your first sales call and go, okay, ChatGPT's done. No, tell it what happened. Here's what they said. Here's how I reacted. Here's a concern they have. Give me some strategies on the next 2 calls or whatever. It's really good for that. Really, really good.
And then sometimes I'll go through a process and I'll leave it. And then I want to go back like 2 weeks later. It's not like it's forgotten. It's
no.
Like, oh, I got to re-explain it. No, it's all right there. It's all in the same string. And it's funny how we treat it, we say to treat it like a human, but then we treat it as if the human has defects, and it really doesn't have any memory defects.
Yes. Or that it sleeps and takes time off.
Exactly.
Because some of these, I got a client that has a couple AI scientists, like PhD people, and they get a little, they're super smart. Apparently it just works all the time. It's constantly working. You know what I mean? On your stuff. You just don't realize it. It's just a little scary. That part's scary, but
it is scary.
That's funny.
Okay. Hey, if you have not joined us or explored the Advanced Selling Podcast Insider Group, go to advancedsellingpodcast.com/insider. We've got a great program coming up in November. I think it's November 5th or 7th. It's on the first Friday in November on how to talk economics with a client, how to have confidence, how to get your mind right about talking price, talking money. And it's one of the things that I find a lot of people struggle with. And so we've put together a really good, we've used AI with it too. I don't know that there'll be a prompt for you. There might be. We might just have one in store. So
Bill, I didn't tell you this, but the other topic that I had was that topic for today's recording. Yeah. So maybe we should think about doing that.
Well, let's do it next time.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really good one. Because I've got some new takes on it. Some things came up at our firm and with some clients. I'm like, this is a different landscape with pricing and economics than it used to be. That'd be a good one.
All right. See you next time.
Cheers. Bye.